by now, we have all been affected in some way by COVID-19, be it there's no sports, we may have lost or has a loved one, a friend actually touched directly by the virus. We can't live our normal lives, may have lost a job, or our jobs have been affected. We've all been affected by COVID-19. In the midst of that, the Black Lives Matter movement took a big step in front of our faces, because it hasn't taken a really big step forward yet. Equality for all still doesn't exist. Safety for all still doesn't exist. But we've seen Ahmaud Arbery, we've seen George Floyd both die senseless deaths. We've seen others die senseless deaths in this time span. That's really bubbled it up, the movement up, and we've seen protests, mostly peaceful protests, and we've seen our athletes really step up. And you have a faction of people that say, shut up and dribble. Unless it's a white athlete like Drew Brees, and then that's okay. Which I think is ridiculous. Athletes have always spoken up. Yes, it's true. When they spoke up back then, Muhammad Ali, Arthur Ashe, Billie Jean King spoke up about inequalities as well as a white woman. It wasn't only black guys, white woman. We've had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Alcindor, Bill Russell spoke up, Jim Brown, all spoke up. There was a backlash, there was, but eventually they became heroes for speaking up. Well, athletes, for a long time, athletes didn't speak up. And when I was growing up, they didn't. 80s and 90s, like Michael Jordan said, Republicans buy shoes too. Tiger Woods famously didn't speak up. Magic Johnson wasn't known as someone who really spoke up. So there was a couple decades, 2 to 3 decades, where athletes were quiet. Well, this generation of athlete with Twitter, Facebook, social media platforms where you own yourself entirely, YouTube, you can get yourself out to the public, starting the Players Tribune. Athletes are more empowered, and they make tons of money where they feel safer, where they're speaking up and they're speaking out, which is tremendous. And the next step was the college athlete, which has been treated like an indentured servant. Yeah, they get some money. Yeah, they get a college education. Yeah, they get taken care of, sort of. Everyone else around them makes hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, and they risk their lives and livelihood every single day. They're now speaking up, which is great. And it's come back to the sports world. And it's gotten some people shook up. I don't get it, okay? Here's the deal. Yes, we grow up with certain things in life. Doak Campbell Stadium being one of them for me. I'm a Florida State Seminole alum. I'm a legacy Florida State Seminole. My dad went there. I taught at Florida State. I have 2 degrees from Florida State. Garden Gold is in my blood. That stadium is a place growing up that I always dreamed of. When I went to FSU, I took full advantage of it. I went to every home game in the 5 years I was at FSU. When I was in grad school, a buddy of mine and I would run stadiums. They would leave it open and I could get into the stadium, and we would run stadiums every night for a year in Doak Campbell Stadium. That place is like heaven to me. However, the name isn't. And the fact that Florida State alum and Kendrick Stewart, former Florida State linebacker, has actually made an actual petition, even though I've heard about this for a few weeks, to remove the name should only matter so much, especially when you find out who Doak Campbell was. He was a president for Florida State in the 40s. Yes, he was the guy that took Florida State from an all-women's school to a full-on integrated man and woman university. Integrated is a key word. He was not into integration. He was into segregation. He was vehemently into segregation. He was vehemently against African Americans, students of color, black students, being at Florida State University. Okay? So if that's the case, in this day and age, with all that we see going on, why would you want that name on your stadium? There's no reason why it can't be Bobby Bowden Field at Whataburger Stadium or whoever, whatever sponsor. You can make extra money on it. They can put back into the university, back into the school system, okay? So for me, I don't understand these people that are up in arms about the Confederate flag. Oh, stop it, okay? It's unequal to the swastika. When people of the Jewish faith, and most people, but especially people who lost more than half their family in the Holocaust, see the swastika, it makes me viscerally ill. I cannot see that symbol without getting ill. Every time I see it, I get sick, every time. Well, I would think it's very similar to what African Americans, people of color, feel when they see the Confederate flag. It's a symbol of hate. It's a symbol of segregation. It's a symbol of slavery. It literally was the darkest time in American history. It was when America fought America. It was when the South tried to secede from the Union over slavery. And that was the main cog in what was holding up America. Once I wanted slavery, once I did not want slavery. That's I mean, the South, the Confederate flag was their symbol. So it's obviously symbolic of slavery and hate, plain and simple. So why wouldn't we want to get rid of it? Why wouldn't we want Ole Miss to take it out of their state flag and have fans, when the sport of football, 75 to 80%, if not more, or at least 65 to 70%, basketball is like 90-something% African American, black players, why wouldn't we want to get rid of that? So it makes perfect sense we'd want to get rid of that. Why do people fight? Change is scary, I get it. But come on, it's just a name. There's only so much in a name. It doesn't change the sport, it doesn't change the team you love. So Lubie's law for today is, I commend the student athletes for speaking up. I commend people for standing up, reaching for equality, reaching for safety for all. And I especially am happy to see things like Aunt Jemima changing. Yeah, we get used to something. What are they changing now? I don't care. If it brings us closer to equality, brings us closer to everyone feeling comfortable. If you're not comfortable, then I should be comfortable. We should all feel safe in our own country. And right now we don't. And it's time we do. So kudos to you for standing up and get off your ass, get involved. And those of you who have to stick up your ass and are worried about anything, who gives a crap what things are called? It still will mean the same to you. It's time for us to worry about our brothers and sisters in this country than just worrying about ourselves. This is Lubie's Law.